On the right hand side, I've got my working rounds component, and on the left hand side, I've got the game loop from the last video. I need to put the code from my rounds component into my loop component. I start at the top, and to begin, I need to get my import random statement and both functions. Those are going to go above the main routine in our looping component. I can then grab the comment that says where the main routine starts. For the entire game, we need to initialize the score and get the game goal. And I'm just going to neaten up my code so that it looks a little bit nicer when I run it. We need to remove the code where we put in the user and computer points and replace it with our working rounds code. And then we're going to take all of the remaining code from our rounds component, copy it, and paste it in. Next we can test the code. So let's put in a game goal and play around. And at this point we actually have a slight problem, because for our round results the computer won, so the user points should actually be reset to 0. And we notice that this is a big issue when it comes to getting towards the end and declaring a final winner, is that our user actually has way more points than they should have. And if this was an assessment, you'd create a debugging slide where our first step is to show what the problem is. In our code, we now have both a winner and a loser, and the loser has their points reset to 0. And I've also changed the round feedback so that it says who won and makes it clear that the loser's points have been reset. And now when we run the code, we can see that issue has been fixed, and we can hopefully confirm that our rounds and our game work correctly. So in this case, the computer won both rounds and they've won the overall game. And here's what an updated bugging slide might look like. So we show the problem, and then we show that the problem has been fixed. Our program is looking quite good, but we can further improve it by making it clear where a round starts and where a round ends by putting in some round headings. In version 2 of our game looping component, near the start of the main routine, we can set the rounds played to 0. We can then scroll down to the start of our rounds loop. We can remove the for testing comment, and we can put in a heading. At the moment though, our rounds played is 0. So one of the things that we can do is we can update our rounds played by adding 1 to it. And when we test our game, it's really obvious where a round starts because we've got that really nice heading. If I scroll down to the end, we want to make it really clear that our user has won and that the game is over. Please go towards the end of your code outside of our game loop and make a statement before you say the final result. And this is a lot more clear. In the next video, we're going to integrate what we have into the base, and we're also going to make our game history component. So that instead of just saying game over and the computer won, it's going to summarize the results for each of the rounds.